I'd like to call upon Camille's subconscious, please.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you so much. Are we able to do a body?
Oh,
Are we able to do a body scan on the body and see how she's going?
yes. Yes. She is relaxed.
Beautiful.
She is good.
Wonderful. Are you able to give her a spa treatment of beautiful, balanced energy while we do the session today?
Yes, we can.
Wonderful. Subconscious, she was curious what collective you are.
We're not in a position to say just yet.
Thank you. She is curious if there is one or more collectives that are helping her.
Mainly one.
Okay, thank you so much. You know, she is curious and she has great insight since the last session. It seems that she has been majorly upgraded. She's saying that the connection with her subconscious feels different, not good or bad, but different. Can you help her understand the new feeling that she has with you, please?
Not a lot is coming through at the moment. She's been upgraded majorly. We're just having a little a connection problem here. We need to come back into her body to be able to connect to her. Because a lot of her is not here. She's starting to feel emotional.
Can you tell me more about why a lot of her isn't here?
She's been separated into several different bodies. And she is in other places doing important stuff. And now that she's connected back with them again, she's feeling emotional. That she hasn't been making it up and dreaming. This vehicle has several bodies. And the one left on this planet is just a 3D shell.
Is she experiencing other 3D bodies? Is that what you're meaning?
No, the being that she is can separate into several bodies at the same time. And being in several different places, dimensions, and timelines. at the same time, thus leaving this body here in this timeline to continue doing the work that it needs to do, which is really important because she needs to hold the light here, and she needs to transmute the energies, the dense energies out from around her. That is this body's purpose here. The other bodies are elsewhere doing other things. One is on her home ship. One is in the earth. One is part of the grid that is under the earth. Yes, she felt like she had a grid body also. And she does, and it is connected to the earth, just under the surface. There is a light grid there, and her light grid body is connected. And herself and other beings on this planet are holding the light grid with their light grid bodies on this earth. And this is helping Gaia. And it's helping the earth be controlled with what is happening. Because if it's not controlled, it will just explode into total disaster, but not in a controlled manner. What is happening on the ship is important for the shift. Not a lot of humanity is going onto her ship, but a lot of nature is going onto her ship. There are special rooms, chambers where the birds go, and another chamber where the animals go, and another chamber for the trees. But the trees are also on another ship because they'll be going to a different place. And there are special chambers, all the animals and the birds and nature. And the energy has to be held at a certain frequency because new arrivals arriving all the time. And some of the beings that belong on the ship are arriving because they are leaving. They have shifted already. And they are being supported, so part of Carmel has to stay on this ship and can't come back into her body. And that's where her memory is, because the memory is important for her to have on this ship. She's helping to control and oversee and work with all that is happening on this ship. This ship is very large, very, very large. And it's important. We are working with her and taking care of her on this planet. But she needs to stay separated now. It is important that she stays separated and they don't all come back into her body. But when she shifts, they will all merge back with the body on the ship.
She was curious if her family will shift together with her. I'm assuming she's wanting to know if it's the same sort of day, and will they be on the same ship?
Yes, they will be on the same ship. Yes, it'll be the same day, but there might be different, it might not be at the same time, but then it may be there's a little bit more to organise, and there's a little bit more of things that may go differently. So if it's not all on the same day, it'll be the next day. Carmel's shift where she is will happen at night time. And the other part of her family might be the next day. But their crystalline bodies on the ship are already doing stuff. So part of her family bodies are not here either. They are already doing stuff that needs to be done. Because the shift has been extended. But what they needed to do needs to be happening. That's why some of her children are struggling at the moment. Their bodies aren't all here together. They are on the ship too. And they have to do stuff. So part of them are there doing what needs to be done, which is making things confusing here. And some of them aren't coping so well. But we are with them. We are supporting them. But we can't change what they're going through. We can only support them. We need to be doing this other work. It is important that they are taken care of. We can't help the stress that they're going through. Carmel can help them here. She says her prayers and blesses them. And she can tap into some of their energy. They have given their free will, Carmel, to support him and help transmute some of the lower energies and fear that's inside of them. She thinks she can't, but she can. She can be support for them and help them. She needs to just go into her meditative state, light her candles, connect with the earth, and she is helping them. But she is also helping a lot of others as well.
Thank you so much. She wanted to know if she could be doing more and what else can she be doing more at this time for others.
Hold the love. Hold the love inside of her. Do her gardening. She's thinking that her gardening is not a waste of time because she won't see it fulfilled. But we've been giving her messages that this gives her peace and pleasure, and it raises her vibration so she feels the love and the peace inside instead of worrying about everything that's happening around her. Connect with nature. Do her gardening. Plant her plants. Help her daughter plant her plants. Encourage her son to get his summer veggies in that he wants to get in. And connecting with nature and doing this gives them hope and abundance in their life. Prosperity of something good coming, and connecting with the earth. It is good. Do this. She's been so busy for all of her life from a very early age. She finds it a struggle to just chill and relax. But that's all she really got the energy to do. So she needs to accept that. It's okay. Enjoy the sunshine. Enjoy the breeze. Enjoy just being in the moment.
Thank you.
Not the future. Not the past. Just the moment.
Beautiful. Thank you. That will give her great comfort because I think she was over worried that she wasn't being and doing enough. But as you've already explained, she's doing multiple things in different dimensions, so she can finally relax a little bit more, hopefully.
Yes.
Thank you. She was saying that she sensed that there was a sensation on her right upper arm where she felt like she had been inoculated, and she's curious to understand why.
We can feel the pressure on her arm, but not really getting why. I'm not really sure why. It's not one injection. It's numerous. She feels hundreds and thousands of the injections that in her arm. I'm not really getting why she's feeling all this.
Is she trying to protect others from any injuries that she may think that they will be suffering from?
Yes, yes, that's what she's doing. She's now feeling this and understanding. She's protecting others. She is absorbing the negative energy from the injection. She is helping the trauma that they're feeling because they've been made have the injection. She is absorbing the trauma. Their teams are taking care of them. But Carmel is working with their teams. She is absorbing the trauma from these injections. She has millions of the trauma injections in her arm. That's why she feels it so strongly. It's not just one. And she is traumatizing herself by holding on to them. She needs to release them. We will help her release it. We will help her release them now. We will release it for her because she is struggling to release it.
Thank you. It doesn't seem like you hold on to it.
No, she doesn't need to.
Thank you so much. How will she feel after this session in regards to the upper arm?
She will feel a little bit of ease. She won't carry the heaviness anymore. But it's going to take a little bit to release because there's not just one, there's millions. But she will release the weight, the heaviness. It'll be gone.
Thank you. She was concerned about those who were being bullied and forced to do things that they did not want to do to keep their jobs. Do you think that because she was so concerned for others that she's created this tension in her arm to sympathize and support with those who have had the inoculation?
Yes. Yes, she has. Yes, she's absorbing it.
How has that impacted others by her doing this?
It's given them peace and freedom. And it's given them comfort and the knowingness that they're not going to be affected by this. And with their teams, they have a sense of connecting with their higher intuition and being comforted and being at peace with it all. And a knowing this. They are supported and okay. They are okay.
Well, thank you, subconscious, so much, because that was one of her worries, was how could we support them who were feeling coerced into doing something that they were a little bit afraid of. So it seems like Shuri has been doing that.
Yes, that's why it's in her mind. That's one of the jobs that she's doing. She is working with a lot of teams. She is part of a lot of teams around this planet. And she's working with them. And she's supporting them. She's just a light. Just like a little fairy light with the teams. And when the teams need her, they call her in. And she can be in thousands of places at once. As this little fairy light. And she's supporting millions of people and teams. That's why she has to just not do much. Her energy is somewhere else.
Is this
And
why?
that's why, that is why it's on her mind.
Thank you.
She's connected.
Does she?
But she just has to not worry about it and just let it be.
Thank you. Is she supporting the millions in her region, or is it worldwide?
Worldwide.
Incredible. Thank you so much.
She's feeling a little bit bemused, like it can't be possible. I can't be doing that.
One of her
But
questions. One of her questions was, has her ego changed since our first session?
her ego is just a little small, dull fairy light. But every now and then, it wants to jump in and have a say and say, you need to worry about this. This is fearful. You need to be frightened. You need to worry. You need to sort this out. But then her higher self and her team come in and go, Carmel, you know that's a lower vibration. Send it love. Acknowledge it. And pop it back in its little room where there is love. Her ego still needs to be loved and acknowledged and blessed and appreciated. But she has so much else going on in her mind that sometimes she thinks when she's confused that it's her ego. But it's not. It's just her doing a million things at once. And that's when she just needs to get in her garden and just, or go for a walk, or just sit down and watch a feel-good movie. Because when she does that, this 3D body shifts into a 3D feel-good, and she releases all the connections she has to what else is going on. And she raises her vibrations so high that she fills all the other parts of her with a higher vibration energy of love. And it gives them a boost. She thinks that there's just a little bit of her out there. There's not. She's split into lots, sometimes a million. And that's why the one on the ship has to have all the memory, all the energy, all the feelings. The majority of her is on the ship. And together they're supporting everything else that is going on. And she has a team of others who are doing the same with her. Carmel may be a leader, but there are thousands of others who are working with her, doing the same thing, supporting humanity, supporting the planet, supporting the light grids. There is a light grid above the planet. There is a light grid below the earth of the planet. Gaia's chambers and tunnels and exit points are all ready, and they have to be filled with a light energy. This has to be held at a high frequency. The planet has to be held together and at a high vibration, so the disasters just don't explode everywhere. The light grid above the planet has to be held so that it's protected. There is so much going on. There are so many beings doing so much work. And Carmel is one of those beings. She just needs to chill and relax and let it be and have trust and faith that all is being controlled. She has a connection to Source, and He is sending her love at the moment because she knows her 3D body is struggling, and He reminding her, come home to me, dear one. When you sit down and meditate, come home to me, and I will give you your light. I will give you strength to keep going. You haven't come home in the last week because your husband's energy has been very draining on you and lowering your vibration. So we haven't had a connection. But this afternoon, after you go for your walk, come home to me and sit with me for a while. And I will help you shine your lights bright again. Dear one, you are my child. You are part of me. You are love. You are part of all that is. And you are okay, darling. You are okay. I reside back now to reconnect later. You are love. You have my love. You will be fine. All is well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that connection. Subconscious. Camille has other questions about with the main shift. Is that when Gaia will be shifting herself, or will when Gaia shifts, will that be what we would perceive as the main shift?
This is Carmel's higher self here. We are connecting in.
Thank you.
Gaia's shift. She is still working with stuff at the moment. She's still releasing. She may not shift. It depends. But she will shift very soon after the first major shift. And when Carmel and her family and a lot of others shift, Gaia will shift very soon after that. But there's a few things that need to be sorted, and she is currently letting go of a few more things. There needs to be some more floods, earthquakes happening. And sorry, she's just struggling to with this connection.
Yes, usually the higher self. The higher self is usually a very high energy being. So I understand that. And would the subconscious be able to step in, who is just as special and important, but doesn't take up as much energy to translate and channel?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you so much for your return. You know that Camille wanted to understand if the main event of the shift for the majority of humanity would be the same time as Gaia. Is it correct to say that Gaia would shift slightly after the majority leaves?
Yes.
Thank you.
Very, very soon after.
Thank you. Camille also wanted to know if the disclosures would happen before or after that shift.
We are seeing the disclosures announced. But at this stage, there are other things that need to happen. And if they do, it will be before. But if they don't, it'll be after. and those things that are happening are go on track. So we're getting a sense that the disclosures may occur just prior to the laser event, but just before. And this will give people answers to what's going on and what's happening. And so the laser is going to be very, very traumatic. A lot of people are going to shift. That for some people who know the disclosures will give them support, hope, comfort in knowing what the disaster is, what the laser is. For those who are ready and for those who are not, it's going to be a shock. It is going to be a shock for a lot of people. It is going to be very, very traumatic. I know Carmel hasn't heard this in other sessions, but she is seeing the disaster, the burnt ground, the burnt houses, the charred bodies of animals and people and communities destroyed, big cities destroyed. Buildings destroyed. People inside of the buildings. The buildings will be standing still, but the windows will be gone. Part of the building will have collapsed. They will be charred and burnt looking, but there won't be a lot of bodies. There'll be just ash. Just ash. There will be some bodies, but there will be a lot of ash. There'll be a lot of destruction. But it has to happen this way. It is very traumatic. But now we're showing Carmel, new earth, flowers, trees, rainbow energy and light. And we want to remind her, this is why. Don't focus on the ash. And focus on the buildings. Don't focus on the children and the destruction. Focus on the new earth. Focus on the peace. Focus on the joy, the love, freedom. Everybody needs to focus on the peace and the love and the freedom. And picture it in their minds what the final outcome will be. It'll be what their heart's desires, all of their heart's desires, all of the beauty, all of the peace, all of the tranquility. It will all be as you want it to be. She can see ships arriving on the new earth now with people's joy, smile, and their feelings of peace, joy, love, and thinking, gratitude for being there. Hundreds of ships, thousands of people, millions of people all over this beautiful planet. Just arriving. That's how we want her to finish seeing this session, this now, to finish on New Earth.
Thank you. Can I ask one question?
Yes.
She's deeply concerned about the trauma that people will be seeing and experiencing that will lower their vibrations when they are made aware of the laser. Can you give her clarification and understanding why everyone has to go through that trauma?
Some of it is in their contracts. Some of it is to wake them up to the reality. Some of it is because they are so in their mind, they are in this state of following what the narrative and the governments are saying is the way out to freedom and to life. And they are so in this density that they need to see and be shocked out of it. And it's the only way. Otherwise they won't. They won't get out of it. And they need to get out of it. There is so much control. So many people are being controlled. And because they want peace, they are just following along, thinking this is the right thing to do. because they just want peace. But they don't see that the road they're traveling stops. And at the edge of the road is the lava flowing by. And they're just going to fall into it and not know that they could have got off that road and gone into another area where there are fields of flowers and birds and butterflies. These people need to be woken up. They need to be broken out of the state that they're in. And there will be people who won't be able to cope. But the teams are there. And those teams that are waiting for the people who won't be able to cope and will ascend. Carmel's light will be there with them. Some will go back to source because they have too much trauma and they need to heal. And some will go with their teams to New Earth and they will be helped heal. That's why Carmel feels a connection with the ones who will be traumatized. She is part of those teams. She is the fairy light in those teams. Hold your light, everybody. Hold your light. Be the strength that you have inside of you. Be the peace that you have inside of you. You'll need to pull on it. You have the strength. You have the tools. You have the knowledge. You have the intuition. You have the connection. All will be as it is meant to be. All is purposeful. Carmel is being helped at the moment. Her cat is part of her team. And it has just come and sat on her knee. And it's absorbing the trauma, the tension that Carmel is absorbed. And she will help her release it because Carmel doesn't need to hold on to it anymore. She needs to let it go. She needs to let it go, and it'll take a little time for her to do that. We will help her. We will help her.
Thank you so much. Yes, we'll ask all the collectives to come and support all who are bracing themselves to cope and release with this trauma, and to be able to support humanity as they are having to learn this experience to be able to have the profound awakening.
Yes, that is needed.
Thank you.
We will send that out. That is needed.
I understand this has taken a lot of the energy of the body. I would assume we will wrap up the session now. She does have other questions, but I feel like it could be saved for another day when she has released all of this.
Yes, her body is tingling at the moment and gone into a numb state.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. I understand.
Yes, another session in a few days' time or later.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
There is more information to come out.
Yes, yeah. Thank you so much. We do really appreciate it. And we do really appreciate if she can release all the energy that no longer serves her now, so she can attune her body to the energy and the information that she was receiving today. So we thank you.